What is going on, everyone? Platinum B is coming at you with yet another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at where spot price ended up for this week across the board, across all four precious metals. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, everyone, and as you can see here, I have the precious metals spot price chart pulled up here on Provident Metals website. And we are going to take a look at where the metals ended up for the week and what was the best and what was the worst and things of that nature. So starting off, of course, we have my favorite precious metal, platinum, and we're going to go to the 1 month chart and we're going to take a look at where the week started and where it ended. So as we can see here, on Monday, August 23rd, platinum started at 1023.43 and it ended at 1027.04. So it's up a whole $4. Now that's not saying much considering the roller coaster ride we've had of the past few weeks. As you can see here, it's gone down, up, and back up. So you never really know where the metal price is going to be on any given day. So with that being said, what we need to take into account is it might be better until we wait for the downward dip, because the dips are happening so frequently, pretty much on a weekly basis. Depending on what day of the week you purchase could depend on how much you overspend or underspend. And so going into this weekend, if you were thinking about buying platinum, you might want to hold out till next week. Now that's not to say that it won't go down again, right? It might go down again next week, but it might also just continue to go up. It's really kind of up in the air at this point, and it's really kind of confusing. If I had to take a guess, I would say the reason for this rocky road we've been seeing is just a bunch of uncertainty going on right now, right? We got the Afghanistan stuff going on. You know, we've got an administration in the United States that, I mean, without being too political, seems kind of clueless as to what's going on and things of that nature. However, also the economy is looking kind of unpredictable at this point. The government continues to come out and tries to let the people know that they don't need to worry. But at the end of the day, I would never suggest just taking the word of the government and just rolling with it, right? Come to your own conclusion, make your own decisions. I don't care where you stand on the political spectrum, but things are getting crazy across the board in all facets. And because of that, I think a lot of that has to do with this rocky road we're seeing and this roller coaster up and down, climb and dip, week in and week out. If we take a look at a much wider chart, we see that the rocky road, although it's up, down, the entire lifespan of platinum, it's not nearly what it has been in the past few weeks. If we take a look at the 6 month chart, we can see here it floated around 1200, a little bit below, a little bit above. But these dips we are seeing are much greater than, you know, these little tiny dips we see here and there. So it's interesting stuff, and it's very unpredictable at this point. However, I still think platinum is a good buy, whether you buy at these highs that you see in the past month or you buy at the lows you see in the past month, because realistically, it wasn't that long ago. It was even higher than that, as you can see here. So platinum, great buy no matter where you're at in the past few weeks, and most likely in the next week or two at the very least. So moving on, we're going to take a look at gold and see where it ended up for the week. So gold started out the week at a whopping 1804.89 and it ended at 1823.12. So that's up about $19 almost and a few cents. So $19 isn't too bad. So if you bought somewhere in the middle of the week, you did really well. Even if you bought at the very beginning of the week or last weekend, you did excellent. Now, as you can see here, this 1 month chart looks a lot different than the platinum 1 month chart, in that it went down and it slowly kind of climbed back up ever since, with small, very, very small dips here and there. So gold is an interesting metal because it definitely has been moving a lot differently than platinum as of late. However, it has not shot back up to higher numbers that we've seen previously quite yet. We are around the 1 month high, but if we take a look at 3 months, we're not quite back up to these levels yet, where we were at $1,900 just 3 months ago. And if we take a look at the 6 month chart, that was actually a fairly decent high we had right there. So gold's a decent buy as well, because we haven't gotten back up to this 6 month high level. We're not quite down to these lows that we saw almost 6 months ago. However, it's still a decent price if you look at it like this. So gold is up a whole $19. So gold and platinum ended the week up, but who knows where they will go next week. Moving on, we're going to take a look at silver and its chart. If we go to Monday, August 23rd, we started the week at 23.61. So, and we ended the week at 24.12. So, realistically, we're up about 50 cents, which is not too much up. As you can see here, we were at 25.57 less than a month ago. So, we're still in a dip, so to speak. So, even if you buy up here, you're still buying a lot better than people who bought a month ago, or a little less than a month ago, really. So silver's a decent buy as well, in my opinion, and you can't really go wrong with it. It looks like the low for the last month was about last week at 23.02. So if you bought over the weekend, you probably did better than most who bought any other time during the past month. So silver is an interesting metal, and it has its place in the precious metals market. Some people love it. Some people only stack it. Some people don't like it as much. But at the end of the day, it fits its spot on the chart very well. And I always suggest people diversify across all 4 precious metals. So with that being said, we are going to move on. Well, actually, first of all, we're going to take a look at where silver was in the 3 and 6 month range. So as we can see here, it's just been a stair stepper down, right? All the way back to 3 months ago, we've just seen down, then down again, then down again, and it's back up for the week. However, it just hasn't even come close to coming back up to where it was. Only 3 months ago, it was almost at $28 an ounce. In fact, it was over $28 an ounce a little less than 3 months ago. So keep that in mind. If you're thinking about buying silver, but you're like, it went back up, it doesn't really matter, because look at this. $28. If you can get an ounce of silver at $28 right now, and it goes back up to $28, well, then you're break even at that point, and that would be a very decent place to be at for physical bullion. If you're in the paper market, it's a completely different aspect. If we take a look at 6 month as well, as we can see there, June was a really good month for silver and gold because the prices were much lower previous to that, but still around or higher than where they are now. So we are still very, very low as far as recent 6 month rates for silver. If we take a look at year to date, again, we are very low on the chart for the entire last year. 1 whole year, and we're basically at a 1 year low at this point. It's crazy to think that it's been so much time since March of 2020, but it has. And post $20 silver is just simply the norm at this point. Could it go back below $20 an ounce? It could. I never really leave anything off the table, but I also think silver is another one of those long-term hold metals. So that's what I believe about silver. Moving on to the last metal, we are going to take a look at palladium and see where it ended up for the week. So palladium started the week off at 2407.39. It ended the week at 2447.25. So it is up about an entire $40. Now, what you have to take into account with palladium is because it is such a high price already, when it moves $40, it's a much smaller percentage than platinum, silver, and gold, right? Because $40, if you have $2,400 and someone gives you $40, well, that's not that much money. But if you only have $20, like in silver, and someone gives you $40, well, that's double your money. So you got to keep that into account when you are evaluating the price of palladium. However, I still think palladium is very low priced, and I'll show you why. If we take a look at the 3-month chart, we have a high of 28.55. If we take a look at the 6-month chart, we have a high of 29.92. If we take a look at year to date, again, May was the month for palladium. And if we take a look at the 1-year chart, what we're seeing is right down here is about where we're at the current time. Could we reach these levels again? Yes. So I think that palladium is still a decent buy. Now, a lot of people have talked about how the auto manufacturers might be switching back to platinum. Well, that is a possibility. But if you own palladium and platinum, you're covered no matter what they do. So I always think it's wise to have even just a little bit of palladium in your stack if you can get some. But yeah, guys, basically what we're looking at is all metals up across the board for the week, as far as where they started on Monday and where they ended on Friday. So with that being said, we're going to go over and take a look at the community post that I posted earlier on in the week, and we're going to see who was right, who was wrong, read through some of the comments, and just kind of go over all of that. Be sure to keep an eye on my channel on Sunday and or Monday, because I'll be posting that weekly poll to see what you all think is going to happen and then see what actually does. So I'll see y'all over there. Okay, everyone, and here we have it, the weekly poll. As you can see here, I posted this poll 4 days ago, I suppose. And it says, where will precious metal prices end up this week? This poll comment will be used in Friday's video. 17% of you said metals to the moon. 26% of you said metals in the trash. 40% said metals by the wayside. 13% said silver up. And 4% said makes comment below. So we got 138 votes, which is pretty average for these polls that I've been putting out. And the 17%, I suppose you're not exactly correct because the metals didn't straight go to the moon. However, they all did go up, and that was the point of that option. Was, are metals going to go up? Are they going to end up down? So they did end the week up. Now they didn't end, the month or the 3-month or the 6-month as we saw, but they did end a week up, and that is the point I'm trying to get across in these polls. So 17% of you were correct. 26% of you were not correct because all of the metals ended up higher on Friday than they did on Monday. Metals by the wayside, you weren't too wrong. They didn't go straight to the moon like the first option, but they all did go up a little bit at the very least. So that's something to kind of think about. I understand where you were going with the metals by the wayside. You didn't think there'd be too much movement, and there wasn't. So I'll give you credit where credit is due. And then 13% said silver was up, which is technically correct because it is up about 50 cents, which is not up a whole lot, but it is up. So, hey, you guys were correct as well. And then 4% of you said mixed comment below. So we're going to go ahead and dive right on into these comments. And let's see what people had to say. So D said, something is telling me that platinum is going to take a nosedive over the next 4 months, but that doesn't mean it won't creep up this week. Well, I like your wording and your observation. That's a solid analysis to give. You're not doubting that it will go up this week, but you have a feeling it will go down in the next few months. That's a solid way of saying basically, it might go up a little bit like it did, but it probably will go back down. Now, I'm not so sure I believe that to be true, but I do believe that could be a possibility. I will say that. So thank you for your comment, D. I really appreciate it, my friend. Up next, we got Pistol Packing Pilot. Pistol Packing Pilot's an awesome dude. Check out his channel if you haven't. He says, all metals up initially, but then mostly flat for the rest of the week. Interesting. So perhaps you could be correct for next week, right? All the metals could be flat. They did go up for this week, so that's an interesting thing to see. There was a small dip sort of in the middle of the week, but we've been seeing that as a trend almost for the past 2 or 3 weeks. And it's interesting stuff to look at. But I appreciate your comment, Pistol Packing Pilot. I really do, my friend. I always appreciate your input on my videos and polls and things like this. So, again, everyone go check him out if you have not. Up next, we got Wasatch Wizard. Says, let me roll my dice. I got a 2 and a 4. What's that mean? And see, he kind of gets the idea is, you never really know with precious metals, right? It could go up, it could go down, and a lot of times it does exactly the opposite of what we think it's going to do. So it's interesting stuff, and that's great that you make that comparison, and I tend to agree. Trying to guess precious metals is like gambling. And I do these polls just for mostly fun and just mostly to get you guys' input. I really love reading through the comments that you guys leave on this poll. But I also like seeing if people were right, if people were wrong, and just seeing how often they are right and how often they are wrong. So it's just an interesting, fun kind of thing to add to my channel, really. At the end of the day, I'm not a price predictor. I don't come to me and say, will platinum be $1,500 by August or October or something? Because what I will say is possibly, but not absolutely, right? Because I don't know, right? And I've been stacking this stuff for a while. I've come to learn that over time. But thank you for your comment, Wasatch Wizard. I really appreciate it, my friend. Up next, we got Bionic Fishy, or Fishy Fish, says, rhodium up 5,000 by the end of the week. Platinum up 103 by the end of the week. Gold flat to up to $50. Silver up $1.45 by the end of the week. Palladium, you fickle mistress, you. Who the heck knows where you will end up? Well, I didn't check rhodium. I need to start adding that possibly to my chart. It's just that it trades over the counter, so it doesn't move quite like the other four metals that all have paper markets. But nevertheless, platinum up by 103. Well, it wasn't quite up that high, but it was up a little bit. Gold flat to up to $50. You were almost correct there. I think gold was up $19, so solid, but it was pretty flat. So it was right in between what you said, flat to 50, right in between, right on the money. And then silver up by $1.45. Well, it was up just by 50 cents, so you weren't quite there on that one. And then palladium, of course, ended up $40, but not that much. So percentage-wise. But nevertheless, thank you for your comment, Bionic Fishy Fish. I really appreciate it, my friend. And I look forward to seeing more comments from you. Up next, we got Mr. Lake Farley says, relatively the same close next week. Okay. So, it's only been a week, but I can't seem to remember exactly where the metals ended up last week. I'm sure it was similar, though, because when we saw on the chart, we saw it start high at the beginning, go down, and then come back up. So I'm sure we saw that kind of bowing of the line last week. So you, for the most part, probably are correct, my friend. So thank you for your comment. I really appreciate it. Up next, we got Silverback El Toro said, the way the world is going, market will probably hit a new low. If it does, I have plenty of cash just waiting for the exchange. Yeah, I don't think we're quite there yet, but we will have to wait and see. Obviously, August 31st is what's going on with Afghanistan, and once that happens, I think we could see some changes and some things occur. I'm not sure. I'm not positive. I'm also not willing to bet my life on it, but I do think we could see some changes occur. So, that's a great point you make, and the world is becoming madness, at least over here in America. And in the Middle East and stuff. I mean, it's getting crazy out there, so we'll just have to kind of sit back and wait and see. If prices do plummet, though, I'd love to buy. If they go up, hey, I've made money. So either way, it's a win-win. But thank you for your comment, my friend. I really appreciate it. Up next, we got Master Sensei. Crypto run again. Commod's dead. Well, I believe Bitcoin is up. I don't really keep track of crypto that much. I don't get involved in crypto at the current time. I just don't have the time or energy to really kind of chase it and watch it closely and keep up with it and stuff like that. But hey, I don't hate people who do crypto, and everyone does things differently. So we shall see what happens with crypto. But thank you for your comment, my friend. I really appreciate it. Up next, we got Thomas Crown said, gold and silver sell-off, platinum flat. Well, I mean, if there was a sell-off, it was done during the beginning or the middle of the week, and it looks like people started buying by the end of the week. So it's interesting stuff for sure, but we'll just have to wait and see what next week holds. And last but not least, we got Mr. Aloha Stacker. Mr. Aloha Stacker says up this week, I think. And you are correct, my friend. Up across the board. So you hit it right on the money. Now, it's not up to the moon or drastically, but you were correct. Every single metal, their close on Monday was lower than their close on Friday. So they are all up. So congratulations, my friend. You win this week. Let's see what happens next week. But thank you, everyone, for commenting on the poll. And just, even if you just simply voted, thank you. I appreciate all of you all. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out. Hit that subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date with future updates on my channel. Be sure to leave me a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on where the week ended, where you thought it was going to end, and where you think will happen next week. So with all that being said, until next time, we will see you.